العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. We begin with the praise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask and beseech Allah ta'ala to send His peace and blessings upon His last and final messenger Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam, upon his family, his companions, and all those who follow his way until the day of judgment. We ask Allah to make us amongst them. Ameen. Ameen. Alhamdulillah, I'm very happy that on this beautiful Sunday morning, Allah Ta'ala has blessed us to gather here in the house of Allah. And we ask Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to make it a source of blessing and honor for us. And we ask Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to make it a source of reward, a source of mercy, and a source of increasing in our iman and our taqwa. And we know that no people gather to study the book of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala except that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala increases them in their hidayah. And inshallah, I just wanted to take a moment for us to kind of reestablish our intentions as to why we're here. And this is the tradition, of course, of our religion, that no matter what book of ilm that you study, it'll almost always start with a reminder of the intention. And we know, especially when you study the books of hadith, the very first hadith is usually the hadith of ikhlas, or the hadith of niyyah. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. That indeed actions are only upon their intentions. Actions have no worth in and of themselves. Performing salah, even if you pray the entire night, for every single night, for your entire life, or reading Quran, or fasting every single day of your life, for your entire life, bidun niyyah, without niyyah, there is no worth to that. And so it is the niyyah that brings life to our actions. And so we ask Allah to enliven our actions with our niyyah and to purify them, seeking the face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, seeking the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. So, in terms of the study of the language of Arab, some of us, we may have the intention, for example, of studying so that we may go abroad and interact with other cultures, which is a noble intention in and of itself. But the reason why we have this particular class, inshallah, is to study the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to draw near to the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so as to change and rectify the condition within ourselves and within our communities. And if we look at historically, for example, in Turkey, in the 1920s, when Mufti Kemal Atatürk, who was the father of modern-day secular Turkey, came to power, one of his methodologies of secularism, one of his methodologies of turning the people away from religion, was by abandoning the usage of the Arabic language, even in prayers. And you may meet Turkish people today who were raised, or their families were raised in that time period, who do not know how to pray salah in the Arabic language, and they recite Quran in Turkish. They pray in Turkish. Absolutely. You may meet people like this today because Atatürk understood the power of the Arabic language and its connection with the revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So by changing the language, the Arabic language, and corrupting it, turning people away from the original Arabic language, from the tradition of the Arabic language, he knew that it would automatically disconnect people from the Quran. Similarly, we see in Libya and we see in Algeria, when the French had taken over those parts of the country, the parts of the world, you'll see that particularly Algeria and Morocco, you'll see the French influence in the Arabic language. Because they understood the importance of corrupting the people's understanding of the language so as to disconnect them from the revelation of the Quran. Similarly, there has never been a renaissance of the Islamic tradition except through the hilaq of Quran, through the circles of tafsir al-Quran. And the foundation of tafsir al-Quran is through the Arabic language. And as my teacher, Sheikh Amr Sa'id al-Azhari, he said that the majority of the modern day pioneers of the Renaissance of Islamic thought were masters of the Arabic language. Their major of study was Arabic language. They were PhDs in Arabic language, because it was through the Arabic language that people are reconnected with the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Arabic language is the gateway to internal invigoration, internal purification, and also it is the gateway to the communal purification as well, because it is the Arabic language which connects us with the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the reason why we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to purify our intentions and to ennoble our goals and to make us achieve them with His help alone. Up till today, alhamdulillah, we've covered quite a bit. It's my tradition to review what we've covered, inshallah. If you saw the email, inshallah, one of my intentions, inshallah, is to just make a small video and audio recording, basically of like a succinct mukhtasar, a summarization of everything that we've covered, so that you can just kind of listen to it in the car, you can watch it or whatever as your own personal review. And I intend to do that at different intervals of our studies, inshallah. And also one probably at the end, we'll see how practical that is, inshallah. So as to provide a source of review for all of us. Inshallah. So basically what we've covered to this point that we're basically building the language so as to begin reading, inshallah. And in only a couple of months, a couple of weeks, we'll be able to begin our book, Qasas al-Nabiyyin, the stories of the prophets, written by Imam al-Nadawi, Abu al-Hasan al-Nadawi, who wrote this book with the Arabic student in mind, beginning with simple sentences and gradually going to comprehensiveness. We'll cover the first book out of 3, and then after that, with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we'll begin the recitation and study of Surah Al-Baqarah and how we may translate these things. And the source of that essentially is from Sheikh Nu'man Ali Khan, who is, mashallah, a pioneer in reviving the science of Arabic studies in America. Alhamdulillah, may Allah bless him for all his efforts and make him successful in his endeavors. So we began the building of this language by discussing what are the parts of the language. And we know that there are 3 types of words: the harf, ism, and fi'l. The harf, ism, and fi'l, we went into in-depth discussion as to what are the differences between them and how you may recognize them. So we know the ism is the foundation of the ism is that there are 4 major signs. Number 1, alif lam, the concept of ma'rifah. Number 2, tanween. Number 3, femininity, finding ta marbuta. And number 4, the state of jar. And we learned that later when we studied the concept of grammatical states. The state of jar is one of the signs of ism, because only asma take the state of jar. Then we went into more details, the 4 major characteristics of ism. The 4 major characteristics of ism: number 1, ma'rifah. How do you recognize that something is ma'rifah or nakira? How do you recognize that something is definite or indefinite? So you recognize definiteness through alif lam, indefiniteness through tanween. Then we went into the concept of gender. How do you recognize that something is masculine or feminine? So the only way you can tell masculinity and femininity is by seeing the signs of femininity. The signs of femininity are 3 major ones. The first one is ta marbuta. The second one is alif maqsoor. The third one is alif followed by hamza. And those are the 3 major signs, like sama'a. Sama'a is a feminine word. So those are the 3 major signs of femininity. And if you do not see those signs, then the word is default masculine, mudhakkar. Okay? And there are some words, as we practice a few of our examples, that you just need to know and recognize that they're feminine based on the usage of the Arabic people. And those things are not important, inshallah. You'll learn them through practice, inshallah. Then we went into the concept of plurality. So how do you, in the Arabic language, it's unique in that it's very specific. You have single, dual, and plural. So you know whether there's 2 or more than 2 people. So you have single, dual, or plural. And we went into plurality. So single is the default status. Dual is recognized by anun. So musliman, muslimanun, kitaban, muslimani, kitabani. These are the signs of dual. And if it's a female, like muslimatani, 2 female Muslims. That's the sign of dualness. And then the sign of plurality, there are 5 major components of plurality. You have your broken plural, jama' taksir. You have your sound plural, sound masculine plural, sound feminine plural. So you have broken or sound. Broken is similar to singulars. Then you have the sound masculine plural and the sound feminine plural. The signs of sound masculine plural is una. The sign of sound feminine plural is at. Okay? That's how you recognize the 3 different types of jama'. And I'm sorry, there's only 3 types of jama'. 3 types of plural, not 5. There's 5 total. Single, dual, and 3 types of plural. The last thing we discussed was, the last thing we discussed, everyone can hear me fine, right? Raf'un, nasbun, and jarrun. And the first thing you want to recognize in terms of the grammatical state is what is the word? Is it ism, fi'l, or harf? The next question you ask is, does this word take on a grammatical state? Yes or no? Then if you recognize that it does take on a grammatical state, you say, what grammatical state is it? Is it raf'un, nasbun, or jarrun? Then you ask, how do you know that it is in that grammatical state? So what are the signs, the alamat that indicate that it is in that particular grammatical state? And then you ask, why is it in the grammatical state? And it's not necessarily a step-by-step process, but it's actually all together. So why is it, sometimes you know that it's in the grammatical state because of its usage in the sentence. Sometimes you know based on the sign. And so the simple signs of grammatical states are raf'un is dhamma, nasbun fatha, jarrun kasra. That's the simple signs for the single ism. But we know that there are different signs for the dual, the plural, the sound masculine plural, the sound feminine plural. And I'm not going to go into those details. You guys, inshallah, know those things. So basically, we talked about the grammatical state and how to recognize a grammatical state. And then we went into a basic reason why words take on a grammatical state. Raf'un is the default status, and it is the subject of a sentence, a nominal sentence, and also the subject of a verbal sentence. Nasbun are details of a verb, whether it is details of the one performing the verb, details of the one, adjectives of the one receiving the verb, or details of the verb itself, i.e. adverbs. And how was it done, in what way, strongly, weakly, etc. These words that describe verbs, they take on the state of nasab, inshallah. And there's specific terms for these things that we'll learn in time. And then jar is the simplest one, it's the easiest one because we can recognize it easily. Number one, and number two, there are only two reasons why a word takes on the state of jar. The first one is after following harf jar, right? Following an agent that turns the word that follows it into jar, which we studied last time. And the second one is the mudaf. So kitabullahi. Allahi is the mudafan ilayh, mudafan ilayh. The possessor of something. So kitabullahi. Allahi has kasra, it's in the state of jar because it is the possessor of kitab, which means book. Okay? So then we went into the discussion after discussing single isms. Now we talked about how to put words together. And you can put words together in two particular ways. In a way that is complete, meaning if you put those words together and you say it, it has a complete meaning. It doesn't need any more information. That is called a complete sentence. And also, you can put words together, and they still require more words to make sense, to make a complete sentence. So we've covered this part so far. There are over a dozen ways, compounds, they're called compounds. There are over a dozen compounds that exist, but we studied the major ones that you'll see in every single line of every single page of the Quran. What are the major ones? It's called al-murakkab al-tawsifi. Al-tawsifi, murakkab means compound, al-tawsifi means sifa, means adjective. So adjectives, how do you use adjectives? How do you put words together to describe other words? And number two is al-idafi, al-murakkab al-idafi, which is possessive compounds. How do you say that something is owned by something else? Kitabullahi, and we talked about that form. And then last week we talked about another major compound, which is huruf al-jar. You putting words that turn words into jar, but they're usually used in the state, in the concept of, I was going to say direction, but that's adverbs. But there was a certain huruf al-jar that you need to memorize, and that was what we discussed last week. Okay? Any questions as to what we've come up so far? So that huruf al-jar was chapter 16? 15. Yes. No, sorry. It was 15. Yes, huruf al-jar, page 80. So what we were going to do is go over the exercises for huruf al-jar this morning, inshallah. So just a review, what are huruf al-jar? Min ila an ala fi ma'alika wa bilita. Right? So that was my way of memorizing it, but min ila an ala fi ma'alika bi wa bata. And the wa bata at the end are huruf al-qasam. Qasam means to swear. Wallahi, right? Why is Allahi? Because it is jar. It is in a state of jar because wa before it is a harf of jar. turns the word after it into a state of jar. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses huruf qasm constantly throughout the Quran, particularly in the Meccan surah. Meccan surahs. So, if you guys can turn to page, did we do the exercises for the other compounds? Mudaf ilayh and tawsifi, does anyone remember? I think we did. I think today we're going to go over the exercises. Page 81, inshallah. So we'll start, inshallah, with, sister, would you like to start with the first example, inshallah? The first example, practice sentences. So if you could just read it, inshallah, and we'll just read those, and then we'll go through the exercises. Yeah, the practice sentences. You can just read it, inshallah, and then you can tell me which word is harf jar, and which word is the state of jar. Exactly. Min. And Allah is in the state of jar. Excellent. Go ahead. Next.
The book is on the desk. Al-kitabu ala al-miktabi.
Ala al-maktabi. I'm sorry. That should be a fatha. It's just the script. When you type it, it's not a kasra, it's a fatha. Ala al-maktabi.
Ala al-maktabi. And ala is
Okay, excellent. And I want you guys to cover the English portion. Cover it, put like a sheet on the English part, and I want you to translate it for me. Next.
Bismi, in the name.
Excellent. In the name. And none of these are complete sentences, it's just to give you a representative. Okay, next one.
Alhamdulillah. Praise for Allah.
Excellent. And what is the harf al-jar?
Lillah.
Li, exactly. Li is the harf jar, and the word that is in the state of jar is Allah. Excellent.
Al-kitabu fi ghurfa. So this the harf jar is fi, which means in, and the book is in, I don't know what's in the ghurfa.
Ghurfa, anyone? Ghurfa. Ghurfa is room. Ghurfa. Excellent. Next.
So while he's taking it over, so that's next.
Exactly. What is that? Shams? And this is Surah Al-Shams. وَالشَّمْسِ وَضُحَاهَا. وَالشَّمْسِ وَضُحَاهَا. I swear by the sun. And only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can swear by other things of His creation to exemplify the magnitude or the magnificence of that creation and that created thing. And only humans are only allowed to swear by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is a simple thing, but sometimes we say, I swear by my mama's grave, or I swear by, you know what I mean? Like this is a common vernacular in our language. But in our religion, we swear only by Allah, because He is the only thing that is constant. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by certain things to bring magnitude of that thing. وَالشَّمْسِ وَالضُّحَاهَا وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَى. All these things that we find in the last chapter of the Quran, we see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swearing by things. Because these things are signs of Allah's magnificence. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by these things. Go ahead, Hassan. Yes. Excellent. What is يَسْأَلُونَكَ مِنْ? Yes, they are asking you عن الروح. What is the ruh? The soul. Excellent. Excellent. And this is written wrong. It should be تُرْجَعُ الْأُمُورُ إِلَى اللَّهِ. تُرْجَعُ الْأُمُورُ إِلَى اللَّهِ. So inshallah, when you see these mistakes, please correct them, inshallah, so you don't get confused. إِلَى اللَّهِ. Excellent. Next. And تُرْجَعُ الْأُمُورُ means to return. Al-umur, the affairs, إِلَى اللَّهِ, to Allah. Excellent.
Means peace until Fajr.
Excellent. And طلوع الشمس is when the sun rises. So salam hatta مطلع الفجر. مطلع is the period. It's called harf. It's called الزمان is the time period in which the sun is risen. So طلوع الشمس. So سلام حتى مطلع الفجر, and we know this is found in Surah Al-Qadr, Laylatul Qadr. Excellent. All right, now we're going to go into exercises, inshallah. What I would like you to do is fill in the blanks. So what is the meaning of these words? So I want you to make sure you don't look at page 80. I want you guys to know the meaning of the harf al-jar. Okay? And this is basically training wheels because we have the rest of the translation there. But at least you know the meaning of the harf al-jar, inshallah. So next. So I'm going to make it a little bit more difficult, even though I made it easy here. I want you guys to cover the harf al-jar, what it is on the right side as well. Okay? So that you don't know, inshallah, what it is. So then, although this one you probably already saw it. So what is the harf jar here? Ta, exactly. So what is the meaning in this sentence? So you have I, blank, Allah, you know. And these are taken from the Quran, all these examples. Anyone? Phone a friend?
I swear.
I swear. So ta is one of the huruf al-qasam. Ta, ba, and wa. Wallahi, tallahi, billahi. And billahi, B can be used as a separate harf jar, which means with, and it could also mean I swear by. Excellent. So tallahi laqad alimtum. I swear by Allah, you know. Qad alimtum, you did know. Go ahead.
So is there a difference between Wallahi, Tallahi, and Wallahi?
That's a very good question. That's beyond my ilm, unfortunately. Beyond my understanding. But I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. There has to be. But inshallah, it's a good question to ask.
والعصر. Why is the harf jar? That's why it's in the state of jar. Swearing the time.
Okay, I swear by the token of time. Excellent. There's also another harf jar. Next.
من الجنة والناس. So min is harf jar, and it's from the jinn and the people or man.
Excellent. MashaAllah. What surah is it from?
Surah
Surah Nas, min al-jinnati wa nas. I'm just like testing you guys in all sorts of ways. Behind you.
وَلِلَّهِ الْعِزَّةُ وَلِرَسُولِهِ. To Allah and to His Prophet belongs the honor.
Excellent. So what are there's two huruf jar here. What is it's the same one, but what is it? What's the harf jar?
Allah.
Excellent. So lillahi, li, and li rasulihi, li. Excellent. So walillahi, li means to. It's a word of possession. Lillahi, it belongs to Allah. Walillahi al-izzatu. Al-izzah means honor, means power, izzah, right? Lillahi al-izzatu wa li rasuli, and to his messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Next sister, inshallah, the next one. عن اليمين وعن الشمال. Which word is the harf jar? Excellent. And what is the meaning of an? Anyone? About. So an could be used like أنا أتكلم عن هذا الشخص. I am speaking about this person, but it can also be used as position. عن اليمين وعن الشمال. Upon, like taking a presence in that particular location. So عن اليمين, about or upon the right, وعن الشمال, and on the left. عن اليمين وعن الشمال قعيد. So it has power. عن اليمين وعن الشمال قعيد. I'm thinking this is from, I forget what surah this is from. Next, inshallah.
حتى مطلع الفجر. Excuse me.
We saw this before. What's the meaning?
Until the rise of the morning.
Excellent. Until, hatta. That was cheating. Unfortunately, we have the example twice.
أولئك كالأنعام. It's like pronoun to me.
I'm sorry?
Ka is pronoun, right? Those
Pronoun, ka is a pronoun, but
Yeah.
in this case, it's also harf jar.
is all from Richard.
And we'll learn today the difference.
Bismillah.
So what is the, we haven't covered it yet. What is the, so ka is the harf jar, and what is the meaning of ka? We went into a long discussion last time about it.
Your, there,
Anyone want to help them?
Similar.
Like, they are like, right? So ka is used for similarity, is used for metaphor, to use analogy. So, أنت وجهك كالشمس. Remember I said وجهك كالشمس. Your face is like the sun, or كالقمر. So, when you use ka, it's used to make it similar to. So, in this case, what is it? أولئك كالأنعام. Allah is talking about people who follow their desires in the Quran. He says أولئك كالأنعام. They're like cattle. They're like lower animals because they just follow their desires. They don't follow their intellect, their intellectual abilities. They're slaves to their desires. So أولئك كالأنعام. They're just like cattle, right? They're like animals, an'am. So ka is used to make similarities between two things. Go ahead.
Bismillah. B is the jar in the name of Allah.
Excellent. So B, it means with, and it's attached to, according to an opinion, it is attached to a verb that is hidden in this case. So everything that you do, Bismillah, it is with the name of Allah.
وعلى الله فليتوكل المؤمنون. So على means upon.
Excellent. So وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. So upon, it's a sense of you're placing your trust on the most stable thing. So if I put my phone on this desk, it can fall off, right? It's unstable. So when وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. The reason why this word is used in regards to trust upon Allah is because Allah is the most stable. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most stable. There's everything else. If you put your trust in anything else, it's unstable. They can help you or not. Your parents, one day they're angry at you, they kick you out, the next day they don't, etc. No one in our life is stable besides Allah. He is constant. So وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. The mu'minun, they place their trust. It's literally like it's giving this idea of placing your trust upon something. So that's what ala means. Next. إني جاعل
إني جاعل في الأرض خليفة. So في is the half of jar is in. So الأرض is the stem jar.
Excellent. And what is the hafjar?
في.
And what is its meaning? In. Excellent. And the question may be, why did not Allah use إني جاعل على الأرض خليفة? It's a possibility. And I'm sure there's mufassirin explaining that. But just think about it. If you think about al-ard, it's not just a flat land, but rather it's it has its own atmosphere. So you have to go inside the atmosphere, etc. I just thought about this right now. Why did he use ala? This is why these small things you can do tafakkur of the Quran. Why didn't Allah say ala al-ard khalifa? He said fil ardi khalifa. Are we inside the earth? But rather we're inside the atmosphere of al-ard. So the al-ard probably includes the entire atmosphere, the stratosphere that exists. It's a beautiful thing, mashallah. Next. Excellent. Ma'a. What is ma'a meaning ma'a? With. So, inna Allah ma'a al-muttaqeen. That Allah is with al-muttaqeen, those who have taqwa. Excellent. So next, inshallah, circle all jar majroor in the ayah, inshallah, and the ayat that come, and then inshallah, if you'd like to write them on a separate sheet of paper, you can. So
why is not muttaqeen is not in the harf jar? I mean the state of jar.
it is in the state of jar. Does anyone know why it's in the state of jar?
Plural.
Stop.
Yeah, he's close. He's right there. What is the sign of jar in this case? Ina, right? Why? Because it is sound masculine plural. Al-muttaqeen comes from muttaqi. Muttaqeen, it could be muttaqoon. Muttaqoon is raf. Nasb and jar is muttaqeen. Do you remember? Nasb and jar are muttaqeen. Muslimina. Muslimuna, muslimina, muslimina. Mu'minuna, mu'minina, mu'minina. So sound, masculine plural, the sign of jar and nasb are the same, and in this case it is ina. The ina is a sign of jar. Excellent question, by the way. So I want you guys to break up into two groups, split into half, and I want you guys to circle your jar majrur, circle the harf jar and the word that follows it, inshallah, and then we'll come back and discuss it. And inshallah, how many, so let's go through the first line. I'll recite inshallah, and then anyone could raise their hand inshallah and indicate where the harf jar majrur is called the jar majrur compound or harf jar. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alif Lam Ra. Tilka ayatul kitab al-Hakim. Any jar majrur there? Excellent. أكان للناس عجبا أن أوحينا إلى رجل منهم أن أنذر الناس وبشر الذين آمنوا أن لهم قدم صدق عند ربهم. Anything there? Where? This group. للناس ما شاء الله. What's the harf jar? Li. What is the majrur? الناس ما شاء الله. What is the meaning? For or to mankind. For mankind. Excellent. So أكان للناس عجبا أن أوحينا إلى رجل منهم أن أنذر الناس وبشر الذين آمنوا أن لهم قدم صدق عند ربهم. Any others in this ayah? That group already discussed. This group.
إلى رجل.
Where?
إلى is حفجة. First, last two words.
أوحينا إلى رجل.
Excellent, mashallah. إلى رجل. What's the jar? Harf jar? إلى. And what's the majrur? رجل. Excellent. What does إلى رجل mean? To the man. Right. Excellent. To a man. منهم أن أنذر الناس وبشر الذين آمنوا أن لهم قدم صدق عند ربهم. Any others?
منهم.
Are we there yet? Yes, excellent, mashallah. Minhum. Man, you guys got more than me. Minhum. Okay, what does minhum mean? What's the harf jar here? Min, excellent. And hum is, we're going to study today, pronounced, it's a attached pronoun, which means them. So what does minhum mean? From them. Excellent, mashallah. And there's one more, I hope.
عند ربهم.
عند ربهم. Anyone agree with him? That's actually a ظرف. Remember we talked about it? A ظرف. عند ظرف مكان, which means within, or عند ربهم, and that's actually the reason why Rabbi is harf jar, majrur. I'm sorry, majrur is because it is mudaf. It is possessing. عند ربهم. It's treated as mudaf.
Lahum.
Lahum, excellent. And lahum, we know li means to or for, and hum we know means them, for them. Excellent. Okay. قال الكافرون إن هذا لساحر مبين. Anything here?
Yes.
Where? Maybe no. Which one?
We thought the Sahir Mubin, Lam.
Close, very close. But is sahir, is that majrur? Do you see it as majrur in this ayah? No. So it is not. La sahirun here is la tawkeed. It's like wallahi. It's like the meaning of wallahi. La sahirun. Indeed, wallahi. Allah is saying, I swear. La sahirun mubin. The sahir. So these people are saying that وَقَالَ الْكَافِرُونَ the kuffar إِنَّ هَذَا لَسَحِرٌ مُبِينٌ. Indeed. Inna means indeed. La is a second level of indeed. So it's like, like when we say indeed, like who says indeed in it? It's like, I swear to God, I swear. Like a saying swearing twice. Inna laha lasahirun mubin. I swear, this is magic. Like clear magic. Okay. So there's nothing here actually. إن ربكم الله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في 6 أيام ثم استوى على العرش. Anything here? Sister? في 6. So fi, what does fi mean? In 6 is 6 أيام, days. ثم استوى على العرش. So Allah created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. Of course, days not according to our time, because days according to our time is revolution of the sun, or revolution around the sun, or the revolution of the spin of the earth. So it's days as a quantity of time according to Allah's time that's beyond our understanding. في 6 أيام ثم استوى على العرش. Some mufassirin, they say, why even mention 6 أيام since time is relevant? Does anyone have an idea? Why even mention it? There's a lesson for us as well, is that taking time with things is something that is virtuous. Al-ajalatu min ash-shaytan. There's a hadith of the Prophet, peace be upon him, that rushing is from shaytan. And I forgot the other one. That al-ajalatu min ash-shaytan, that rushing is from shaytan. So we're teaching a lesson. Though Allah can say kun fayakun, everything exists in seconds. But there is a concept of the process of creation. And we can go into more details about that another time. يدبر الأمر ما من شفيع إلا من بعد إذنه. Anything here in this ayah?
Did we go ship one?
You missed.
Yes, excellent, mashallah. I missed it. على العرش. على العرش, mashallah. على means upon. Al-arsh, what is al-arsh? Throne, excellent. Al-arsh, arsh Allah. على العرش استوى. So, ثم استوى على العرش. على العرش. So, upon al-arsh. Excellent. يبدر الأمر, nothing there. ما من شفيع إلا من بعد إذنه. Anything in this ayah? Excellent. So, what does min mean? From. Excellent. Shafi', I believe, is intercession, but I may be incorrect in that translation. I apologize. Okay? Anything else in this ayah? ما من شفيع إلا من بعد إذنه. Excellent. So min is, what does it mean? From. Ba'di. Ba'di, we learned it as a dharf. Dharf az-zaman, after. So ba'd. And the reason why we said these are not huruf is because they're ism. So they're not huruf al-jar, they're ism. So ba'di is ism because ism can change. Huruf do not change. They do not change. They don't have grammatical states. لا محل له من الإعراب. They do not have grammatical states. So, but rather ism do have grammatical states. And the fact that ba'di and inda and all these things can change grammatical states, at least internally, is the fact that they are ism. So ba'di is an ism, is a dharf zaman, which means to come after. So min ba'di, from after. So illa min ba'di idni, from after idni, the permission of Allah. Okay? ذَلِكُمُ اللَّهُ رَبُّكُمْ فَاعْبُدُوهُ. Anything here? I defer to you guys' expertise because I obviously don't know. Inshallah. Excellent. So nothing here. أَفَلَا تَذَكَّرُونَ إِلَيْهِ مَرْجِعُكُمْ جَمِيعًا. إِلَيْهِ. Excellent. What is the hafjar? Ila. What is the majrur? He. And he is an attached, damir or pronoun. So excellent, mashallah. To him, marji'ukum. Marji'ukum is the place of return. Marji'ukum. Jami'an, altogether. So to him you will be returned altogether. There is a place of altogether. The reason why marji'ukum instead of using the verb, this is where tafsir comes in. So, alhamdulillah, you guys are excellent. We'll take a break, 5-minute break, and then we'll go into today's lesson, which is Ad-Dama'ir, which is chapter 5, page 34. Any questions? Excellent. So take a 5-minute break, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulil Ameen, wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in, bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Begin with the praise of Allah Ta'ala. We ask Allah to send His peace and blessings upon Sayyidina Muhammad, upon his family, upon his companions, and all those who follow his way until the Day of Judgment. So Alhamdulillah, we have reached the point where we are now discussing Ad-Dama'ir. And we introduced Dama'ir the last time we gathered, talking about the concept of Dama'ir and why we need it. And so, like I said, inshallah, the terminology is not important, understanding the concept is important. So I'll try to use the terminology interchangeably with the English. But understanding and being able to recognize the terminology and being able to understand the concept is most important, inshallah. So ad-dama'ir are also known as pronouns. And we talked about, if you remember, pronouns are examples in the English language are like he, she, they, you, me, I, etc. So pronouns, they basically replace ism. They replace nouns so that it's not repetitive. So Muhammad went to the store, and then Muhammad bought a pack of gum, and then Muhammad paid the cashier, and then Muhammad went home. It sounds repetitive and it doesn't sound nice. But rather, if you say Muhammad went to the store, and then he, etc., using the pronoun allows you to replace the actual ism Muhammad or the name Muhammad or whatever, to make it easier for the pronouncer or the speaker. So similarly in Arabic, we have pronouns as well. What's unique about Arabic, however, is that there are two major types of pronouns. There are what are known as al-damir al-munfasil and al-damir al-muttasil. So munfasil means attached. Detached. So you have what's known as detached, meaning they're not attached to a word. Okay? They're separate entities. And then muttasil means attached. Ittasala means to attach. So attached. Okay? So there are two major categories of pronouns. Ad-damir al-munfasil, ad-damir al-munfasil, ad-damir al-muttasil. Muttasil means attached. Now, al-munfasil or detached, these are the ones that we'll learn inshallah today. We're going to learn both of these today. But for each of these, there are two other categories, meaning they take two particular grammatical states. Because dama'ir, remember as I mentioned, ad-dama'ir are part of ism. So ad-dama'ir are a special type of ism. They have special usages and special rules. But ad-dama'ir, they take grammatical states. Okay? They do not change in their form, like they don't have ka, ki, ku, right? They don't change in their i'rab, they don't change in their haraka, right? But they change in their function, and as a result of that, they are fi mahalli something. They do have a functional grammatical state, and I'll talk about that later. That's a little bit complex. But just know that they do take grammatical states because they are a type of ism. Okay? So munfasil have two grammatical states. This is the most common one. This one is a unique one. So the original grammatical state is raf'un. Raf'un. Why raf'un? Remember, what are the two major reasons, two general categories why you have state of raf'? The first reason is the default status. What's the second reason why you have raf'un? The subject of a sentence. So if I want to say, I went to the store, Muhammad went to the store, and then he, and then he, and then he, all these are munfasil, they're detached, they're in the state of raf' because it's the subject. So munfasil are typically used as rafa', meaning they're used as the subject of the sentence. Okay, so huwa, hiya, anta, antuma, antum, ana, nahnu. We use these terms when we want to, or when we're describing the subject of a sentence. That's why it's rafa'. Now we have a special one. I only mention it here. It's not mentioned in many books of grammar, but I mention it here because it's in Surah Al-Fatiha. So you have what's known as nasb. And what happens, what's unique about this, is that this comes before verbs. But rather it is the object of the verb. So when we say إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ in Surah Al-Fatiha, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ, right here. إِيَّاكَ نعبد نعبد means we worship, right? We are worshiping. We worship. Okay? Another way we can say this is نعبدك. This whole thing, another way to say it is نعبدك. نعبدك. And as we'll learn a little bit later, that whenever a dhamir is attached to a verb, it is considered nasab because it is the object of the verb. It's the thing receiving the action. So when we can say نعبدك, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen ar-rahman ar-rahim maliki yawmiddin, نعبدك wa nasta'inuka, we can say that as well. But what do we say? We say إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين, because Surah Al-Fatiha embodies every single clear message of the Quran. Every single message of the Quran is embodied in Surah Al-Fatiha. Every critical message of the Quran is embodied in Surah Al-Fatiha, as Imam Ibn Juzay al-Kalbi, he says in his book, At-Taswiyat al-Qalb. He says that the Surah Al-Fatiha, and all the ulama, they say, it embodies all the critical messages of the Quran, and the critical message of Tawheed is found in إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. That only you, so when you use this term إِيَّاكَ, it means only. إِيَّايَ, إِيَّاهَ, إِيَّاهُ. إِيَّاكَ, when you add the E to this cat, it means only. Only equals only. No exception. And then what you do is you attach the iya to this cat. I'm sorry this looks a little messy, guys. I wasn't intending to be teaching this way. Try to make it clean. You attach iya plus this. And then you bring it to the front. So what if the original attached damir would have been? You attach iya to it, you bring it to the front, and you make it munfasil, you make it detached, and it brings on the meaning only. It brings on the meaning only. Okay? So the original word is na'buduka. So you can say, Ana uhibbuka, uhibbuka. I love you, right? But you say, Iyaka uhibbuka. I only love you, no one else. You say this to your wife, Uhibbuka, uhibbuka. Iyaki uhibbuka. Then she loves you, mashallah, right? She will respond. Similarly with your husband. So, Iyaka na'budu, Iya is only. Right? So that's detached. I put it here. It's a little bit more complex. Alhamdulillah, comprehensiveness. Practice of the car. So these are the two categories involved with detached noun. Okay? So detached, munfasil. Now the two states of muttasil, and we'll talk about how all the different examples of muttasil, is the state of jar and the state of nasb. And the rules are very simple. If the attached pronoun is attached to an ism or harf jar, right? It is in the state of jar. Why do you think it is in the state of jar in this case? And why do you think it's in the state of jar? This one's obvious. Why is it in the state of jar in this case? Like kitabuka is an example. There are only two reasons why a word takes the state of jar. So we already know harf jar. What's the other reason?
Is it the mudaf, right?
Exactly. It is the mudaf ilayh. This is the owner of kitab. So your book. Hada kitabuka. This is your book. So kat is attached to an ism, and the reason why it's in the state of jar is because it is mudaf ilayh. It is the possessor. Now, if it's attached to a fi'l, as we just talked about right here, na'buduka, it is in the state of nasab. It is in the state of nasab because it is mudaf or maf'ulun bihi, which we'll learn later, which is the object of the verb. Now, if you notice, like I said, the ma'id, this cat, it doesn't matter what grammatical state it is in, it does not change its harakah. It does not change its form. Because you need to be able to recognize it. Because the ka, ki, ku, the huruf are used to indicate the who it's talking about. For that reason, the Arabs, they decided that they will not change the harakah here. So what you'll say is that this is jarrun, this is damir, majrurun, Fi mahalli. This is damir. I'm sorry. In Arabic, you'll say this is a damir that does not change its inflection. It does not change its i'rab. Okay, it does not change its signs. It does not have any alama that indicates it's in a particular state. It's called mabni. Mabni means the sign doesn't change. However, fi mahalli. It is in the state, it is in the natural state. Its natural state is that it's jar. So underneath the surface, it is actually in this state. So this is ضمير متصل مبني في محل جر في محل جر لأنه مضاف إليه. And that's what you say. This is the ضمير that is attached. That is mabni. Mabni means it does not change its harakat, and it is in the reason why it is majrur is because it is in the state of majrur al-jar because it is mudaf ilayh. So I'm just saying that, inshallah, don't worry about that, but I want you guys to understand that concept, inshallah, when we move forward. So this is important to know. But now, what I want you guys to do is close your books, and then I want you to see some brave souls, inshallah. You come up here, you fill out this chart. Whoever fills it out gets a book. Spending all this money. But that's because I want you guys to have external motivation as well. So who wants to fill this out? Remember we made this chart last time? Go ahead, come up. Let's go. Bismillah. What do you think? You want to call someone? Exactly. This is detached pronoun. No pressure. No pressure. No pressure. You're starting from the bottom. It's cheating. I'm just kidding. Excellent. Okay, I'm not going to give you D before writing it, but say it before you write it. Okay, go ahead and write it the best you can. Everything is attached. No, you do it. Get the middle of it. It's a hat. Hat. Nah. All this is all right, say it before you do it. Excellent. And by the way, all of these are Hamza, so they have to have a little Hamza sign. Excellent. Great. It's the feminine ones that are difficult to say. I always think it's because they don't want men speaking too feminine, but I don't know. And Tunna, excellent. Excellent.
It's the same thing.
Go ahead. Excellent.
This is Anton.
I'm so close to getting you off. And it says within. MashaAllah, takbir.
Allahu Akbar.
Write your email address right here. Write your email address. So everyone who wants help with homework, this is the guy to talk to right now.
It's gonna be on YouTube.
And Gina? Oh no. YouTube. Well, this is a Khas YouTube anyways. Good. Khas means private. Tayyib. Everyone takbir.
Allahu Akbar.
Okay, excellent, inshallah. You guys are going to get another chance. So this is basically sheer memorization, okay? So he started from the bottom, but I prefer you know the chart and you try to repeat it, just like you memorize Quran, you need to memorize this. So huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu, right? And you want to practice it like that to get to that level. But you need to know that this is third person masculine. Single, dual, plural. Third person masculine means, I want you to give me the translation before you get the points. Give me the translation. Go ahead, come up and write it. I would write it with markers. It needs to be complete. But this is actually pretty good though. Underneath the word. So this is English translation. Excellent. Yeah, just put they and then parentheses 2. Yeah, you can just write the number 2. He wants to be all proper with his grammar and stuff. Just put PI. PI plural. Perfect. Yeah. And we know it's feminine, so that's why. We just know that already from the chart. And when you say we, you don't need to specify to a dual or not, because we and I, you guys know who you're talking to. So that's why it's the same. Excellent, mashallah. So it's important to know that you have the single, dual, plural, and you have third person masculine. Third person means like you're talking to someone else. You're not talking directly to them, you're talking about someone else. So he, they, those two, them, male. She, they, those two, same thing. The duals are always the same. And then, them, hunna, those females. Or those females. Anta, you two. Antuma, antum. You, all males. Anti, antuma, antunna. Ana, nahnu, nahnu. The key thing to know about males is that you could be talking to a group of 500 women. If there's one male amongst them, you say you all. So the masculine form in the Arabic language is used for generalization. Because some people may say, why is Allah talking about men only? Why is Allah not talking about women? But in fact, the masculine is used for general, for everyone. And women are if only women are included and men are not included, it's exclusively women, then you would use the feminine form. So whenever Allah is speaking in the masculine form in the Quran, He's actually speaking to everyone. Unless, based on context, you know that it's speaking to a particular gender. Okay? So that's the general status. لَهُمْ مَا يَشَاءُونَ فِيهَا وَلَدَيْنَا مَزِيدٌ. They will have whatever they want. Hum. لَهُمْ مَا يَشَاءُونَ. Whatever they want, وَلَدَيْنَا مَزِيدٌ. In paradise, they'll have whatever they want, وَلَدَيْنَا مَزِيدٌ. And we'll give them more. We have something beyond that. لَهُمْ. Allah is not talking only about men. He's talking about every one of the people of paradise. But this is used if there's even a single man mentioned, so that the general form is used. طيب? So excellent. Who wants a book, another book, inshallah? To do attached pronouns. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an ism there. And I want you guys to give me the attached form. Who wants to volunteer? Sister, you can volunteer too, inshallah. I'm personally a fan of giving books as gifts. People hate me during their birthdays and Eid and stuff like that, but books is the best gift you can give anyone. So, but that's why I love giving gifts, because I think it has a dual purpose. That you're giving someone knowledge, and also it's a gift as well. So this is my gift to you, inshallah. You can get this, inshallah. And the book here is called In the Footsteps of the Prophet ﷺ by Tariq Ramadan. One of the best books of seerah that I've seen. There's comprehensive books of seerah like Sheikh al-Salahi and Martin Leeds. Like Justin, mashallah, you get the question right on the email group, so he got Martin Leeds, because that was his preference. So those books are very good too. But I like Tariq Ramadan's particularly because of his insight. So that's why I get it. So who wants to give it a try? You know the expression like dotting your eyes and crossing your T's? It's a similar idea, because back in the day in English we used to learn something called cursive. And you want to cross your eyes. So cursive is made so that you can write quickly. And as doctors, we love cursive, so please don't take it out of our educational system. Unfortunately, it is being taken out of our educational system. But anyway, same thing. You write quickly. It's like what people do. They point it and do the dots at the end. Because if you do the dots, it takes time. Anyways, who wants to give it a try? Oh, he was up first. So you need to do the attached. Yeah, may have made the word a little bit too big.
Can you try easy one?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. And make it with an aleph at the end of the noon. Oh, I forgot to mention that. I'm cheating for that. Qalam. I'm going to give you that. That's the last time I'm helping you, because we have other volunteers.
I will not hear that.
45 seconds. Time is up. I'll give you a chance to fill in the rest of the boxes. Go ahead, fill in the rest of the boxes, whatever you can. Okay, time is up. Good try. He didn't get to complete it, and there are a few incorrect ones. So I'm not going to tell you which ones are which. I'm just going to erase everyone. And who wants to volunteer? Justin? Anyone else? He's already got it. Okay, go ahead. I'll give someone else a chance. If he doesn't get it, then Justin gets it. Just say it out loud so people can hear.
قلمه قلمهما قلمهم
Alright, take a look at it. Let me know if it's your final answer. So قلمه قلمهما قلمهم قلمه What, can you pronounce that for me? Okay. Alright. Anything else you want to change? Final answer? You got it. Somebody's reading ahead in the book. Very close, but I'm not going to tell you what you did wrong. I'll tell you what you did wrong at the end. Because both you and he did the same thing. All right, Justin, you're next. Sister, did you want to give it a try? Okay. Go ahead, you're next, Justin. I'm going to run out of books to get this guy. All right, here we go. It's kind of cheating because you get the chance to watch everyone else. But I didn't tell you guys what you get wrong, so. pronounce it as you're giving it.
قومه قومهما قومهم قومها قومهما قومهن قومك قومكما
Final answer? If it is your final answer, just go through it and then pronounce it. Final answer? Inshallah, takbir. So did you guys see what you did wrong? You're looking at the verbal pronouns, which is the attached pronouns for verbs in terms of the subject. So who is performing the subject? So we have to figure out what they got to But qalamuhu, qalamuhuma, this is in page 81. I'm sorry, 35. Qalamuhu, qalamuha, qalamuhuma, qalamuhunna, qalamuka, qalamukuma, qalamukum, qalamuki, qalamukuma, qalamukun, qalami, qalamuna, and qalamuna. And if it's used with the verb, this one is only unique in that if it's used with the verb, you have to add a noon between it. Okay? So khalaqa, khalaqani, not khalaqi. It's khalaqa ni. Khalaqa ni. I'm sorry. Ni. So it's unique that whenever you use this attached to a verb, you have to add the noon before it. Okay? Khalaqani. This is an excellent job, mashallah. So there it is. And I want you guys to be able to do this week after week, inshallah, because this is going to be critical. Understanding this part, this chart, and the order of the chart. And that's why I recommend you guys memorize. Memorize it this way. This. I want you to be able to memorize it, envision it, see it, recognize this chart, because this is going to be critical for understanding how to change verbs. Okay? And verbs change at the end according to who's performing the verb. If it's a single male, third person, it has a certain form. A dual male, third person, a certain form. So that's going to be critical, inshallah, for verbs. So I want you guys to memorize this chart. Huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antum, antum, anti, antum, antunna, ana, nahnu, nahnu. Hu, huma, hum, ha, huma, hunna, ka, kuma, kum, ki, kuma, kunna, I, mun, that, and now. I want you to memorize it that way because this is the way that we're going to memorize verbs too, inshallah. Okay?
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Does that mean, I'm confused what that one on the board was usually find is second person female plural. Is that wrong?
What does it say? Second person female, plural. That is wrong. Yes, please correct it. It's kunna. Kunna. Inshallah, I'm going to be in Chicago for this next couple of weeks, and part of my responsibility there is actually revising this book. So that's going to be what we're going to do. So, kunna. Excellent. Thank you for bringing that to your attention. So if everyone can look at, it's not kum, it's kunna. When you talk about the second person feminine.
How about the alif? Is there also the alif there?
Yeah, there is supposed to be another there as well. It's kitab, kitab. There's no tab, there's no a. It should be kitab and kunna.
I was sitting there going through, man, I don't think there's any place in the Quran that spells out a word like that.
Yeah, this is, I apologize. This is why you gotta. If you look at the second box, the last line, this box right here, it's kitabu, kitabu, with the alif, so it should be like this. So like, kitab, tab. This is missing. Kitab, kunna. الكتاب كنا. Excellent, inshallah. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the exercises, and then we're going to conclude for the day, inshallah. So go ahead and break up in your groups. And that from these ayat, the exercises is circle all pronouns found in the following set of ayat from Surah Al-Baqarah and discern whether it is attached or detached. It's a very simple concept. But I want you guys to be able to recognize all pronouns. So go ahead and break up in groups. And inshallah, in the next 10 minutes, we'll go through it. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wassalamu ala Rasulil Ameen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. طيب, inshallah, we'll go ahead and begin with these to recognize the dama'ir. The damir, dama'ir is plural. Damir is single. Damir for the beginning of Surah Al-Baqarah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه. Any damir here?
No. Over here. Red. Oh, you did.
I did, yeah. So, yes, where is the damir? The he in fi. So the question is, why is it he? It's not because of its grammatical state. It's he because of pronunciation. So anytime you have a ya before he, before the ha, anytime you have a ya before the ha, it becomes, it takes on the he. So I'm just going to write it here. So it's actually who, right? Kitabuhu, right? But it's actually fihi. Because of this ya, this becomes a kasr. Just for pronunciation purposes. Fihi. Okay? Excellent. So, la rayba fihi. So he can mean he, or it can also mean it. It, masculine. Because we're talking about mudhakkar. Remember mudhakkar? Objects can also have masculine form. So he can be he or it. In this case, because we're talking about an inanimate object, the actual translation is it, not him. So, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. This book, there is no doubt within it. Excellent. And we're going to talk about Surah Al-Baqarah. We're going to study Surah Al-Baqarah together, inshallah. So, we'll leave that for another time. هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Anything there? Any damir? Pronoun? No. Excellent. الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون. Any damir here? And let me know attached, detached, and then also grammatical state. Hum. Excellent. Where's hum? After what word? رزقناهم. So what is its grammatical state? Well, what is the meaning, first of all? Who is it referring to? Them, plural. What is the grammatical state?
Direct object. We gave them.
Louder?
Is this direct object here? We gave them.
You're correct. So what is its grammatical state? Raf, nasb, jar.
Mansub.
Nasb, mansub. Excellent. Because it is attached to a fi'l. Attached to a fi'l equals maf'ul bihi mansub. Excellent. وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ وَمَا أُنزِلَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. Anything here? Who's your spokesperson? Group 1. Yes. What was it?
Ilayka.
Exactly. Ilayka. What's the translation of Ilayka? To you. 1, 2, or 3?
One. Second person, single.
Excellent. Second person, single. Ilayka, male or female?
Male.
Male. Unzila ilayka. So Allah is speaking to the Prophet ﷺ directly. وَمَا أُنزِلَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. Are there any others? Kaf, exactly. قَبْلِكَ, قَبْلِكَ, kaf. Kaf, same thing, the same meaning. Min qablika, qabli. In this particular case, What jar is it? What grammatical state is the kaf? It is jar. Everyone's laughing. Why is it in the grammatical state? Why is it in the grammatical state? Trick question.
Ism.
What did you say?
Attached to ism.
Yes, exactly. It is attached to an ism. So what is it? What is it when it's attached to an ism? It is mudafun ilayh. It is possessive. So remember, qabla is actually not a harf jar. Qabla is a dharf. Dharf makan. Qabla, before. So, or dharf zaman. So it's an ism. So that if it's attached to an ism, the kaf or the dhamir is mudafun ilayh. It is the possessor. Excellent. وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. Anything there? Home. Excellent. Attached or detached? Detached. So there's only two states unless you see iya. What is its state? Raf'un, because it is the subject here. They're the ones performing yuqinun. Yuqinun. Excellent. أُولَٰئِكَ عَلَى هُدًى مِّن رَبِّهِمْ. Anything there?
Rabbihim.
Him. Exactly. What is him? What's the meaning of him? They all. What is its grammatical state?
Rabbihim.
Correct. Exactly. So what's the grammatical state?
Jar.
Jar. Majurur. Because it's attached to an ism and it's mudafun ilayh. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. Anything there? Hum. Exactly. The reason why you have the humu, why do you have the dhamma at the end there, is for tajweed, for pronunciation, because you need to connect to alif, because you have the hamza has a sukoon on it, and the hum also has a sukoon on it. Whenever you see two letters with sukoon on it, it's called ittiqa as-sakinain. When two letters with sukoon on it are connected together, that does not exist in Arabic in pronunciation. So what you do is you change the haraka of the word, the letter before it, so that you can connect it, because you connect the words together. So it's humu. It's not humi because the dhamma is before it. So it's humul muflihun. It's not because of any grammatical state. It's just for pronunciation purposes. Does that make sense? Humul muflihun. Hum here is dhamir munfasil. It is detached. It is the subject of, and it is talking about them, al-muflihun. They are al-muflihun, successful. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا سَوَاءٌ عَلَيْهِمْ أَأَنذَرْتَهُمْ أَمْ لَمْ تُنذِرْهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. This part, inshallah, completed as homework, inshallah, because I don't want to overtake my time, inshallah. Alright? Any questions or comments? So I'm going to update the syllabus, inshallah. The plan is for the next 2 weekends we will not have class. But the 30th, we will have class with the help of Allah. I'll be returning, inshallah, on the 30th. So, before the 30th. So, we will have class on September 30th. And then, inshallah, as I mentioned, October 6th and 7th, Saturday and Sunday. Did an email go out already to the general community? So, there's going to be an email coming out, but we already said 2 hours. That 6th and 7th, from 9 a.m. till 2 p.m. Brunch will be served in between. There will be an intensive review session. For those of us who want intensive review, bring your friends if they want to join the class and they haven't taken any classes. And anyone who's been part of the class and just got lost from missing classes, this is their chance to catch up, inshallah, and rejoin the class. For those who want to join the class fresh, inshallah, it will help them do so. And it will replace our normal Sunday class. So 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sunday, it will replace this class. So it'll be intensive, I know. But it will be an excellent review for all of us, inshallah, and brunch and lunch will be served. Brunch or lunch. So lunch on Saturday, brunch on Sunday. So inshallah, it's an opportunity for us to catch up and to review. And then later, moving forward, inshallah, we'll have other days where, like, if we have a few people just lost, we'll have just a random review day. We'll organize it a weekday or whatever. Any questions? Barakallahu feekum. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. السلام عليكم.